This is Chris Jenkins with CharlotteVibe.com. Still in Denver, Colorado, a day after the Carolina Panthers have taken on the Denver Broncos. We're now 0-1, and it's hard to believe that after just one game, we can't have any better record than we had last year, so we'd have to win 15 in a row. But nevertheless, I wanted to share with you guys some post-game thoughts that I've had, or the day after thoughts that I have about yesterday's matchup versus the Denver Broncos. And that first one being the hot topic by far, Cam Newton getting hit so many times with helmet-to-helmet contact and that not being called. Today, Coach Rivera talked about how he would like to see more of that called, and he feels like because of Cam's stature and his size, that he gets treated sometimes like Shaquille O'Neal. You have such a big guy, and it's hard to make these calls for these helmet-to-helmet hits. Last night I spoke to Kelvin Benjamin about it, and he also said that he has the same problems. He's not getting a helmet-to-helmet, but just as far as contact that he gets when running his routes, the smaller guys get to do some things against him that they wouldn't get to do against other guys that are a similar size. So I certainly do see it being a problem. I mean, Cam Newton certainly got up very slow after some of those hits. And the thing I want to focus on is I think Rivera's struggling with taking Cam out because he could get hit. And there are doctors that have the ability to call him out for inspection, take him through the concussion protocol. But as a coach, I think you got to take some moments where you want to get that guy out. I mean, Derek Anderson is more than a capable guy. And not saying you bring Derek in and let him coach play the whole rest of the game, but maybe give Cam just a little bit longer to get the cobwebs out of his head or something like that. So we'll want to keep watching that and see how this unfolds and see if Coach changes the way that he manages Cam after he gets some hard hits. And we'll also see what the NFL does. Number two, let's talk about missed tackles early on in that game. So secondary, even Kurt Coleman, the new cornerbacks, the tackling in that first part of that game wasn't too solid to me. They certainly got things shored up after halftime, and Denver came on in that second half, but I don't think that was so much missed tackles. But I think we need to definitely get those missed tackles under wraps as we get into this season. Third and final thing that I'm going to talk about is the fact that the Denver Broncos are beating us. And why? I think they're beating us because they're out-coaching us. And I don't say this in terms of Coach Rivera isn't a good coach. I think he's one of the better coaches out there. I want to see him continue to coach and steer this Carolina Panthers team. But just look at the facts of what happened last year. 15-1, we lost to the Atlanta Falcons, but that was a divisional game and the one that I felt that we had the opportunity to lose. We get into the playoffs, we're rolling, we're scoring 30-something points per game. We get into the Super Bowl, we score only 10 points, and we never really looked like the Carolina Panthers all season in that Super Bowl. Denver just outplayed us, rushed the passer, and made it a very bad day for Cam Newton. Let's fast forward to yesterday's game one of the 2016 season. Carolina comes out, has a pretty decent first half. We had those problems that I pointed out with the secondary not tackling well, but we were up. I think it was 17-3 perhaps. That second half, guess what? We come out, we don't look anything like we did the first half. We only get 2 field goals, we get no touchdowns. Denver comes back. Kubiak does some riverboat run play calling, going for the touchdown, they make it, and we lose. So what do you have there? If you look at the game at a very high level, you had a game that the other team made adjustments in that second half that we didn't account for, and we were not able to be victorious in that game. So those are my day after thoughts. I'm going to get back on the plane, head back to Charlotte, and continue to bring you guys coverage of these Carolina Panthers as we prepare for the San Francisco 49ers. I invite you to like the page, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's Chris Jenkins in Denver, Colorado for CharlotteVibe.com.